Now, what you gonna do with a bitch named Hillary Super? She don't know nothing about no black folks. She don't know nothing about running no black business. Gonna have this lily white woman trying to be in charge of black affairs. That shit don't even make no sense.
Oh, so fabulous.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. It's your girl Dumebi. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. I do hope you decide to subscribe, and if you are a returning subscriber, you guys know that I love you. It's so good to have you here. Welcome back. So I have to start up this video by saying, you guys, we hit 50,000 subscribers, 50,000 amazing family members. Thank you guys for all the love and the support. It means so much to me. Like, I cannot still believe that we're at 50k. I can't. Thank you so much. I owe it to you guys and of course to God. Yeah, so let's just get right into today's video. As you guys already saw in the title, it's going to be about Riri, our very own Riri. I love Rihanna. It was all over the fashion news last week when she officially stepped down as the CEO of her lingerie line, Savage Fenty, that she has been CEO for 5 years now. So she stepped down and then she handed over to Hillary Super. You know, it was big news. Everybody was talking about it, and there were different reasons why black people particularly had some things to say about the whole thing that was happening. First of all, it's no surprise that she's stepping down as CEO because Rihanna is basically raising a family now, so she probably needs more time to focus on her kids. You know, kudos to all the women who have to make all the sacrifices between family and career and all of that. It's not an easy choice. Even I am anticipating when I get there. God help me to be able to make all the right decisions. I agree with, you know, family first. So I can definitely understand why she's stepping down. Then I think some of the things that hit a lot of people by surprise was the realization that she owns just about 30% of the company. And I think a lot of people didn't know that. That was my first time hearing that. Now, I'm not like an avid follower of fashion or whatever, but yeah, being that we knew that this was basically her fashion brand that she started, I think people were surprised that she owned just 30%. But then it's not surprising if she had to get investors and, you know, all of that to make the brand bigger, right? That's the first thing people were surprised about. And then the second thing that a lot of people didn't like, specifically, you know, black people, people did not like the fact that she was handing over the role or the position of CEO to a palm-colored woman. You know, they felt like it should have been a black person or at least a person of color, because that is what the Fenty brand, both the Savage Fenty, which is the lingerie line, and then the Fenty Beauty, which is the makeup line, is known for. You know, when Rihanna came out with these brands, I, particularly being a makeup artist, was so excited seeing the diversity, the inclusion, the very diverse, you know, shade ranges that she had in the makeup line, and also in the Savage Fenty line, which is a lingerie line as well. There was a lot of diversity representation for different body types, different body shapes, male, female. Like, it was basically a celebration of inclusivity. That is what everybody knows the brand to be so far. So people are like, okay, we see ourselves, we that always lacked representation, you know, black folks and other people of color always lacked representation and inclusivity. Now we see ourselves being included, right, and being represented. So everybody in the community, like basically black people, were solidly behind Rihanna. A lot of people of color were behind her. A lot of people in marginalized groups were like, okay, this is the brand for us. So now I think a lot of people view it as a sort of, you know, slap in the face to see that now she's stepping down as CEO. Like, of all the people that you could have picked, now you pick a palm colored person. Now I have my thoughts on that, but before I, you know, go further, let me just go ahead and play some videos that can further help you guys understand the whole situation and also let you guys know what people are thinking and feeling about it.
I did not expect people to get this mad ever at Riri. Ever. Rihanna Fenty has announced that she will no longer serve as CEO of her mega successful brand, Savage Fenty. Rihanna, who has been in that role since founding the company in 2018, will remain on the leadership team at the company as executive chair, but she is stepping down as CEO. Hillary Super, former CEO of Anthropology Group, has been selected as her replacement. In a viral post garnering more than 10,000 views, Downtown 7th Ave asks, could you hire a black woman? And the comments echoed. Cody Ann says she ain't never hired black women like that. To which Anthony Brown said, that part. To which Obadiah, who is really Irishman 3370, said their company is majority YT sis, YT. T. DJG Money tried to come in and represent for the Navy. And when he said this, he said the girls can't even run a lemonade stand, yet they want to tell a billionaire what to do, and then they still gonna go buy from brands that won't place a person of color on their board of directors. Tart. He talking about Tarte. You gonna go buy from Tarte and then cry about the brand shit they don't let you go on. That's what you do, Tarte. Then the magician appeared and abracadabraed some tea when he told the girls on the thread that he wondered if this might be the string pulling of Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, a majority stakeholder in the brand. I didn't know that. Did you know? I didn't know that. And because of that, I am on a search for the connection between Hillary, like this Hillary, not the real Hillary, like there's only two Hillarys in my world, but this Hillary, and LVMH. Hold your line. I'll be back.
So Rihanna is stepping down as CEO of Savage X Fenty, and she'll still be on the company's executive board as the chairman. Now, Rihanna made this decision and she's looking to expand the business beyond e-commerce, so beyond e-sales. So basically, she's looking on the flagship stores. We already seen a couple in Atlanta, Vegas, LA. When Savage X Fenty first started, it was mainly an online exclusive brand, and it looks like she wants to expand it out of the online space and make it more of a mainstream in-store brand that can be purchased by everybody. Now, where I'm concerned is that she's being replaced by Hillary Super, who's the former CEO of Anthropologie. Now, if you've ever been to an Anthropologie, you know that there's not a lot of stuff that, fits, people beyond size medium. Or when it comes to the advertising, see people that are beyond the shade of my palm. So it does concern me that they'll bring on somebody that has experience starkly from a brand such as Savage X Fenty, considering Rihanna was the catalyst for more diversity and inclusion when it comes to any type of retail product. Definitely going to keep my eyes on this. Let me know what you guys think.
It's weird she chose a white woman, and a lot of people don't understand why that's weird or don't get how that's weird, because like a big selling point for Fenty was its inclusivity of like our having skin tones and shades and giving darker skinned people the visibility in the makeup industry that they were not used to have, and then it would later go on to include body positivity and stuff like that. So a big selling point of the brand was inclusivity for body types and skin types that didn't get to see themselves in it. And it's weird to choose a white woman for that, because historically the companies led by white people have never really cared that much about inclusivity, past surface level inclusivity stuff. And when you build your brand so much on like inclusivity for darker skinned people and specifically black people, it's weird. And when you're no longer the head honcho to pick a non-black woman to fit that position, because like a black woman would keep that message going and would move with that goal in mind, and she would also be drawing up her own personal experience of not seeing herself on TV or like that experience of not having her skin type shown and all that stuff like that. White women have, and especially the white woman she's shown that she picked, has never like had to struggle or deal with the fact of not seeing themselves as the beauty standard, and for a brand that prioritize itself expanding and exploring the ideas of beauty and the beauty standard, it's weird to choose a group of people who historically have been the beauty standard, since like it could very easily be like the message gets lost or it just becomes about the dollar at that point. But Rihanna is a capitalist, and in America, and Fenty is a capitalist business and stuff like that. So it always goes back to white people at some point.
What folks are actually mad at is they expected Queen Riri, queen of diversity, equity, and inclusion, to make sure that her successor was a black woman. What y'all do not seem to be understanding is the next steps, the future, the destiny of Savage X Fenty has already been written. Hillary's resume brings the exact competency that they need at the leadership level. Let's talk about it. You can see here that the number one competitor is Victoria's Secret. What does Victoria's Secret have that Fenty does not? retail locations. The LA Times reported, while some may perceive this as a step back, she's chosen a highly qualified successor, Hillary Super, to elevate the brand to the levels she aspires to reach. Now you're probably trying to figure out, okay, well, what are those levels? This is the level: going public. Last year, Savage X Fenty was evaluated to be a $3 billion brand. If they're going to go public, they need a leader at the helm who has run a publicly traded company. And how are they going to continue to increase the valuation of the company? They already have the membership model on lock because of their partnership with Textile. If you don't know what Textile is a fashion incubator, the same one that's behind Fabletics. That is who has been behind Savage X Fenty since the beginning. They've done, in my opinion, all that they can do through that membership business model. The next thing, the best thing, is to go to Victoria's Secret's doorstep, retail versus retail. And that's exactly what they're getting with Miss Hillary. She has worked for everything from Wet Seal, remember Wet Seal, to The Gap, to Guess, to Anthropologie, to American Eagle Outfitters. And she worked in most of the functional roles that you need to operate a successful retail company. That includes buying, merchandising, general management, all the way up to her most recent role as the global CEO for Anthropologie through their growth phase. So before y'all jump out here trying to throw Riri under the bus for not hiring a black woman, that is not true. If you do your research on LinkedIn and you look at who works for Savage X Fenty, it is a diverse group. Yes, there are black women who work there. She also has black women who work for her other Fenty brands. And yes, retail is what's coming next because I found multiple other people who have either retail or store director in their titles, and they all look to be new-ish.
Now, a lot of people are upset that a black woman, or at least a woman of color, wasn't chosen as the CEO of Savage Fenty now that Rihanna has chosen to step down. But here's the thing that many people don't understand is that when you have a $3 billion company, these types of decisions are not just up to you, okay? So I'm sure Rihanna probably would have loved to see a black woman as a CEO, but again, that decision is not only up to her. There's board members, there's investors, there's other people in the company that have a say. Also, we have to look at the track record of Hillary Super, who is the woman who is now the CEO of Savage Fenty. She has experience being the CEO of Anthropologie Group, which is a huge retail group. They are trying to take Savage Fenty from just being an e-commerce online brand. So you need somebody who has that retail experience at an extremely high level. Not everything is a black versus white. Maybe Hillary Super was the person who was best qualified for the job. But the crazy thing about it is, obviously, I don't know what her compensation package looked like for Hillary Super, but hypothetically speaking, let's say she got the CEO role, but there's no equity, there's no ownership at all in it, right? Now, it seems like people are more upset with Rihanna having 30% of a company that she doesn't run anymore versus a white woman running a company with potentially no equity. That's the crazy part that I just don't understand. Because Rihanna owning 30% of Savage Fenty is still a very big deal for the black community and for the generational wealth for her bloodline. We're not seeing the bigger picture. African Americans make up like 13% of the US, right? According to the statistics. We are extremely ego driven and naive if we think that we cannot work with any other groups in this country in order to really take back a lot of the wealth that, you know, has been taken from us. We have to work with other people. So yes, I would have loved to see a black woman be the CEO of Savage Fenty, but if Hillary Super is the one person that was probably best for the role, I feel like all we can do is support her. At the end of the day, there's still a small percentage of women that are running billion-dollar companies. So to me, it's still a win.
Now, so apparently Rihanna is actually stepping down from being the CEO of a company, and she put another person as the CEO, which happens to be a white woman. Why is it that whenever it is in a situation like this, they start to jump in and say, "Oh, you're not hiring diversity hire." Trust and believe. I'm a black man. If a white man can do the job better than a black man, I am employing that person to help my business grow. I really don't give a fuck about what you all are saying. To be fucking honest, y'all can feel how you want to feel, but you're not gonna dictate to me how I should run my own business that I built from the ground up. You're wearing there. I built it up. Now, is it to say like there's some cases where, people, I don't know, but in this case, there is no proof to show that there is somewhat of a discrimination going on. There is no discrimination going on. And if I'm so confused as to what you guys want. Do you people want a diversity hire, or do you want somebody that is competent to be hired? That goes to show, because right now, I think a airline in America, one of the airline companies in America said they're going to be going on a diversity hire. So they're no longer going to hire who is competent. They are going to hire based off the color of your skin. For airline, you're going to hire based on diversity. Can you imagine what's going on? This is the problem. If you are competent, you should get the job. If a black man can run this job better, trust me, I am getting that nigga. If a white man can do the job better, I really don't give a fuck. If a Chinese man can do it better, I really don't care. If an Indian man can do it better, I really don't care. The honest fact about it is that you all should stop doing this. Not everything has to be about diversity. Hire people who are competent. Don't hire based on skin color. Don't hire based on gender. Just hire based on you being competent. If a woman is going to do the job better, best believe I am hiring that bitch.
So from the videos you can see that it's mixed feelings. Some people feel like, okay, if the palm colored woman qualified and she's the best person for the job, they are fine with it. And of course, her portfolio is quite impressive, and she's not a stranger to the Fenty brand. I think this Hillary Super has been a part of the board of directors. And again, another thing we have to note is that Rihanna has a board of directors. It is very likely that she did not make that whole decision by herself, right? Very likely that she had very limited influence as to picking who the CEO that was going to be succeeding her is. You know what? I'm just going to go right ahead and read some of the comments about this whole situation, and I'll tell you guys what I think. So this person here says, Google who owns it. It was never Rihanna, and it was always a white company. Rihanna allowed them to use her to get black customers. Then this person says here, if she has a board of directors, she didn't appoint anyone on her own. That woman may have been her first or fifth choice. We'll never know. Someone else says, Rihanna was the face. White folks always owned majority. It was never going to be one of us. Then someone else says, I'm not mad at her. She's building her family. I won't be buying from them anymore. Like, for real, I saw a lot of comments like this. A lot of people were saying they're going to be boycotting the Savage Fenty line. They're not going to be buying from them anymore, right? People really took it to heart. Then someone else says, she wants to be the best mother she can be to her kids. She has worked hard for years. I agree. Sorry, sometimes having your own people work with you isn't always good. What do you guys have to say to that? Then someone says, people are outraged for no reason. This is business. It is very common. I'm not shocked. Another person says, disappointing. I have purchased many items from Fenty, but I will hold off moving forward until further notice. Then another one says, she just gave an interview where she said, I am a black woman who comes from a black woman and is having a black baby that will be a black woman. Choose a black woman. Then somebody replied, she is not FBA, that's Foundational Black American. She does not have the same mindset that we do. She is doing right by her people in her country. We are all black, just not American. So now this comments was, I don't know, it rubbed me off the wrong way, because it's like creating a division, if you ask me. But I'll dissect that when I'm giving my commentary. Then someone replied that comment about the FBA thing, said, you make absolutely no sense. She comes from an all-black country. Trust me, she's more pro-black than you. Okay? Someone says, if there was a white woman who met all the qualifications to run a company and the black woman didn't, you can guess which one you hire. Let's be for real. Okay? Someone said, I expected it. People are tired of these black-owned companies handing their businesses over to non-blacks. Then someone said, we are more aware and want more for our own people. Island blacks look down on American blacks. Another divisive comment, right? Someone says, black people love giving our wealth away. SMH. Another person says, I wish a black woman was the CEO. Another person says, there was no qualifying POC for the position. Another person said she should have chosen a black woman. So do you guys see, like, there's just that general disappointment. People are they wish she had picked a black person. But I think a lot of people are missing the fact that it wasn't 100% her decision, right? So for all we know, she wanted to pick a black person. Now, I don't know. We will never know because we were never there, right? But now, I'm not a fashion expert or a business expert or whatever, but speaking from the point of view of a layman now, number one, I realized that it wasn't her decision alone to make. Number two, I realized that she stepping down from being the CEO does not mean that she doesn't have a say in how the company is run. So I think the fear that this palm-colored woman might come and change things and things might not be as inclusive as it used to be and as diverse as it used to be, this Hillary Super in question might not even have that much power to change things that much. So I think like we need to just give it the benefit of the doubt and wait and see how that plays out. Then another thing that I'd like us to consider is if this move is basically made to take the business to the next level, go into the retail market, open up stores, that is going to be creating employment, right? So what if at the end of the day it creates more jobs for black people? Is this not in the long run going to be benefiting our people? That's the question I have to ask, because I think that that's another way we could look at it, right? Because Rihanna stepping down as CEO does not mean she's no longer a part of the decision-making process. She is still going to be the executive chair, so she has a say. So at this point, I want to go ahead and address the comments that I said were divisive that I read earlier on. I just feel like, okay, everybody loves Rihanna. Black people love her. We all claim her, no matter what part of the diaspora we are from. We see her as one of our own, right? So at this point, where she has picked a CEO who a lot of people are not very impressed by, why do some people not take it as the right time to express and remember the fact that, oh, she's Caribbean anyway? I'm not surprised. Caribbeans think very differently from FBA, and Caribbeans never really rocked with us anyways. Like comments like that, I'm like, it reminds me of when, in a family there's dad, mom and child, and then the child messes up and then the father says, go and see what your son did. It's almost like, oh, now he's no longer your son, right? He's my son now because he's done something that you don't like. So it's like, why do we have to, at that point think divisively? Why is it then we now remember, like, anyway, why would she act like that? After all, she's Caribbean. I feel like it doesn't make any sense. We are allowed to have different opinions or different points of views, but we still love each other. We still are for each other. I don't know if I'm making sense. Family members have disagreements. They don't agree all the time, but that does not mean that they are not family. That does not mean that they don't love each other. So picking that point in time because you don't agree with what this person did, you don't be like, anyway, they never rocked with us anyway. It's almost like expressing that deep down in your mind, you feel like these people are not really for us, but I'm just watching. I'm just waiting for him or her to mess up so that I'll know that, yeah, they were never really for us. I saw through them. And no, that is not the way we move forward. I personally would have been over the moon if it was a black person, but at some point I had to ask myself, okay, what is more important, her trying to take her business to the next level and looking for the person who is the most competent, regardless of race, or her putting a black woman in that position of CEO? So I think that's a question I want us to ask ourselves, because I know that when it comes to businesses and capitalism, it's a sore spot for us because we are trying to build wealth in our community as black people, right? So I know that is a sore spot, seeing a white person being put in that position. But all I'm saying is maybe we should look deeper. Like, okay, what if in the long run it creates more jobs for black people, right? And no matter how much you want to argue about this, at the end of the day, it is Rihanna's business. It's her family business. Yes, we are personally invested because we are her fans. We love her. A lot of us have supported the business and all of that. But at the end of the day, it's her business. So the question that I have is, if you were running a business, a hypothetical business, and then you had to hire someone for a very sensitive role, you need the best qualified person, and then you have a palm colored person or a non-black person that has the best qualification, the best resume, the best job experience, and all of that. So you have a choice between picking that palm colored person or picking a black person that might not be as qualified, but because you just want to do it because you want to be loyal to our people. Which one are you going to do? Are you going to pick the non-black person that could possibly take the business higher and then in turn help you employ more black people, or would you stick to our people and just keep the wealth within the community? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video, guys. Bye.